All right, it's hard to believe. 2 weeks done. It's Friday. And so, intro to computers, this would be day 1, 2, 3, 4, day 5. We looked at the skills-based assessment. You have to take that in class, and we're going to do that Monday. We're right on track. Okay. Then we talked about a lot of things in general about the course. We said you should know what their grades are. They should check the syllabus for all your courses. Okay. And we talked a lot about materials, completing the projects, skills-based objectives, and we talked about change. And not a lot of discussion and what we were talking about. So we went through the course, we went through the module, and we looked at a number of things there and made sure we're clear on that. I didn't have any questions. We talked about some of the job stuff and that being outdated, and then we related it to the outline. Not everybody's information on the jobs was the same, and on the outline you got to be very careful when you're looking up the sources. Make sure giving the entire URL is important, and not just saying I got it at Forbes or wherever I found the information. Give the entire URL, or make sure you cite it. If you're using a Google, in the Google Doc, you should learn how to cite it. I mentioned a little bit about focusing in class, that you can't multitask, and we talked about worrying about where you're at. Don't worry about them here or these people up here. Focus on where your knowledge is and what you can learn. I mentioned I'm not so concerned about what you know, believe it or not, but I am concerned about what you have learned in the course. So that's our focus. Okay? We talked about change and being open to another way of learning. Okay, being open to another way of learning. I mentioned that the student tends to do the work, and I just manage, help them any way I can. Then we talked about these. I think this is really important. There's nothing wrong with being grade driven. You want to get a good grade. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not the bottom line. For example, we looked at Google. It's not the bottom line for them. Task-driven is not a bad thing, but you got to be careful. Okay, some people get so worried about doing the task, they forget that the object here is to learn, is to become more knowledgeable about a topic. Understanding it better. Being able to make better decisions based on that, making your life more less stressed and more enjoyable, etc., etc. What we learn, learning things that allow you to do what you want in your career and not have to do what other people make you do in your career. So I asked the students what's the most important, and we talked about being knowledge driven. Being able to work at learning. Now, I didn't discard this or this, but this should be the emphasis, at least in the class and what we're doing, in what we're learning and what we're doing in class, in the classes I teach. I expect students to be knowledge driven. Okay? It's okay for them to worry about their grades. It's okay to be tasked, but you want to learn the information. I have found I would never ask my kids, they're all grown up now, but if they're still home, I would never say, did you get your homework done? I would say, what did you learn by doing the homework? And if the homework was fruitless, then I'd contact the teacher. I'd say, hey, wait, what's going on? What are they trying to accomplish here? I really try not to give the students here in the classes I teach any more work than they absolutely need to learn. Now, some will argue, well, I learned that right away. Why do I have to do some of this? Well, it's a little bit difficult to make it match everybody, but we do give the option of skipping some assignments if you don't want to do those. All right. So, here we go. These aren't bad, but this is what we want to accomplish. And the last thing, next unit, it's all about the internet and word processing. Okay? How we can take text, okay, and make it easy to read or understand or whatever, make it look nice, make it logical. We're talk about word processing skills. In this unit, usually the students have a number of the skills already, and then I try to introduce a few other key things that will improve upon that. And yeah, that'll be the next unit. All right, that's it. 2 weeks under our belt, and from my perspective, it's going really well.